welcome to my channel. Welcome to this week's WiPnChat. Grab your cuppa, grab your work. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Sophie is just starting to get something for her teeth. I'll explain later. Oh dear, I'm thirsty. I'm tired. I think, if you're asking, I apologize. I think this is a diamond Penz pen. I think. And I've put in a stainless steel tip in a 4-placer at the end. And it's just the regular placer in the other end. If you want to see this, it would be in my playlist for accessories, other things, something like that. Might even be in the thumbnail. If you're interested in getting more information on this pen, it's different. No, this might be a BFF. It's a different thickness on each end. Sorry, hearing banging. It was a bit strange. Okay, it's husband in the kitchen. Oh, he's getting alcohol. That's good. Alright, there's I think only one of these. Let's see how we go. Alright, I'm feeling a little bit hot and sweaty and yeah, I'm not quite sure. It's probably a medication or hormonal thing, so bear with me if I sweat or wipe my brow. Yeah, okay. Where am I at? It's, as usual, a Sunday. Sorry, I've now got hairs in my face. It's a Sunday here. I am not working tomorrow. I took tomorrow off because I wanted to just have that little bit of a cushion of time between getting the nerve block done and getting back into work and all that kind of thing. So I will talk about the nerve block later. I have more exciting things to talk about than that. Looking. Okay. Right, so what do we do? What? Go and ask Daddy. She has already had some. Oh. Well, Daddy said no, and I missed a number. There it is. Okay. I went through this and I picked out all the ones that I thought were in it, and of course I still missed one. I think there's only one of it, which is probably why I missed it. And because this is quite full and it's bulging, ooh, thank you. Alcohol, cheers. For those of you wondering, that is shoe polish, aka dry ginger and Southern Comfort. Southern Comfort Black. Just to, you know, for accuracy's sake. Not that you're what? No, husband drinks Beam, which is a little bit too strong for me. Yeah. Anyway, what do we do? Last week we had the... That wasn't product placement. We're not being paid for it. No, we're not being paid for any of these product placements. We drink, therefore we are. Okay, last weekend we got the step kid, or his kid. So we decided to go for driving adventures. I think it was Tuesday. We had good weather, literally, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the rest of the week was raining on either side. More about that later. So we decided to head for waterfalls. And did a little bit of research and did some Googling, and I'm sorry, her iPad's warped. Please don't do that. Oh. Technical failures. I've taught her how to do this and she just won't do it. Anyway. So yeah, I'm part of this group on Facebook called Waterfalls of Tasmania. And in this group, people post pictures of waterfalls and stuff. And I think there was something in particular I was looking for in this and thought, oh yeah, this would suit. So we went to a place called Lost Falls, and it was supposed to be a 10-minute short return walk kind of thing, because my back was particularly nasty when I was walking and standing. So didn't mind a longer drive, but did want a short walk. Normally I'm quite up for a longer walk, but not at the moment, or at least not then. So we picked this place called Lost Falls, which was, to get to it is up by Lake Leak. Now I know all these names mean nothing to you, so that's fine, but it's basically, you drive up the middle of Tasmania, which is, you know, effectively a heart shape. You drive up the middle, turn right, and yeah, it's along that road kind of thing. Anyway, found the road. We actually drove past the turn off because I was busy looking at the forestry information on the left and missed the turn for it on the right. So we swung back around because we were out of phone signal, but we were at least keeping an eye on maps and stuff. And we found the place and did our little walk down. And if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen me post a 2-minute video showing me arriving down to what's called a rock pool. Okay, we're just approaching a place called Lost Falls. This is down towards the rock pool where you're allowed to bathe, I guess. It's soggy. Ooh, I can hear a frog. Oh, my knees. There you go. So a little waterfall coming in. Nice big pool. And down the falls. And the falls there. Down there. And I don't know if I put pictures. I'll try and insert them here as well. I went down to, we went down to the rock pool. We didn't bathe or anything, although the kid had her bathers on her, just in preparation in case she might have gone into the water at any point during the day. But you're talking freezing cold water having come off mountains in the rain that we've had recently. So went down to the rock pool, and it was this weird mineralized white green kind of color, which is really quite cool. And yeah, it probably is like a disappearing tarn. Oh, well, it does disappear. It must be rainfall fed. Anyway, I'll keep going. So got down to the rock pool, and there wasn't an awful lot of water, it didn't seem, coming into this rock pool. And took my photos. Sorry, getting distracted with getting the goop off the drill that got stuck there. Took my photos of some gorgeous little sphagnum mosses and other things that I used to study in biology back in Ireland. Okay, so I have a friend of mine who does photography, mostly of miniature things. She got a new camera after she started getting a bit involved in mushrooms, and she wasn't taking them, but she got involved in taking photos of mushrooms. So then she bought an SLR and started taking macro shots of the mushrooms. Well, I was looking around seeing if I could find these mushrooms, because she describes them as being only like 5 millimeters in height. I didn't see any. They could have been there, I don't know. It was certainly, from my point of view, seemed to be wet enough. but I didn't see any mushrooms. So a little bit disappointed with that, and I need to get her to bring me to teach me where the mushrooms live. So there was that, and then you went back to this little crossroads. So those two arrows, one took you down to the rock pool and one takes you to the lookout. I didn't know what to expect at all because I've never been there. Neither had hubby, and walked out this little dirt trail, which was literally just not even a sheep trail. Walked down this track, and there's a fence that appears, and next to the fence there was a dead swift parrot on the ground, and next to the fence there was this sudden drop into the valley, and it was like, what the hell? Where did this come from? Because you literally, you know, you were up at the rock pool here, and you go back to here, and the walk, you know, was just down kind of this direction, but suddenly you go from level forest here to this hunkin' great valley that opens up and goes and views over to the east coast. It was just incredible. So looked down over this waterfall, not expecting to look down on a waterfall at all. So looked down onto this waterfall, and again, pictures will be inserted as I'm talking about this, so you'll kind of get an idea, sort of this. So was really quite surprised at how well my back stood up to this drive. It was, you know, a reasonably long stretch. I think it was about 2 hours in the car going up. Now, we have a new Toyota hybrid, and it's got heated leather seats. So I think the deal with the seats is that it just gave so much more support. Hubby reckons it's because I hadn't got my feet crossed or my legs crossed either. And the heat all drive, you know, and the not moving and all that kind of thing was just really good for my back, and I felt like I was able to do the walk without any issues. So that was much more pleasurable than it could have been. We were kind of a little bit concerned that I wouldn't have been. So that was good. So got to enjoy those, and then we went to a town called Triabunna. There is a 10-meter shipping container next to the Triabunna Hotel that does the most awesome fish and chips. So we got, I got Trevally, which is a blue-eye cod. The fish in Tasmania is incredible. The fish in Ireland is watery cod. I think it's Atlantic cod. It's watery and bleh by comparison. The only way I used to eat it was actually smoked. Or you'd get ray or skate or something in the fish and chip shop. So you'd get plain or you get smoked. The fish here in Tasmania is incredible. You get things called like blue grenadier, flathead, flake, which is actually a shark, which is the cheap stuff. And anyway, I got Trevally, which is the blue-eye cod. It's got texture like chicken, but it's a beautiful, beautiful white, meaty fish. It's gorgeous, and it's a big fish when you catch it. So you get quite big kind of fish steaks. So I had that, and I had curly fries. Now, I don't know if you know curly fries. I mean, you might. Curly fries, I think, are something that Burger King or KFC might have done a little while ago, or, you know, somewhere in their realm of things. And I know they've got different menus worldwide. But anyway, these are flavored with not just salt and pepper. They're actually flavored with, like, some kind of, you know, seasoning and spices and stuff. So they were kind of going into the wedges range of flavor. So I had those, dished out fish to Sophie. Marcus had his, and the other one had her fish, and then we took off down to a nearby town with a beach nearby. And in this park, they had this spongiest grass. It's called a buffalo grass, and it grows like a mat under your feet, and it crisscrosses with runners, so it's really quite bouncy. The kids had a playground that they could run off to when they finished eating, and the beach was, you know, through the hedge kind of affair. So we ate. We had one lone seagull chasing down any scraps that he could, so I was throwing him some chips. It was very, very funny watching him eating the curly fries, because he would kind of chomp on the crunchy bits and then he'd orientate it the right way around and it would swallow, and I'm kind of going, where the hell did you just put that thing? Yeah, it was hilarious. And it had this bright red beak and bright red legs, and it was in reasonably good condition. So yeah, didn't get anyone fighting for him, didn't get any of the whole seagulls, you know, screaming at each other and doing the high-low kind of squawking or anything. So it was quite nice not to be bothered by that. So we only gave him a couple of those chips, and then binned everything in the bins that were there. Gorgeous little park. It's got toilets, it's got a bike park, it's got a playground with children's equipment, it's got park benches, it's got picnic benches, some of it's sheltered, it's got a couple of barbecues. It was just awesome for this little town, you know, park area. Then went on to this sandy beach, and the beach had sand that was so fine it squeaked. Now, if you've never been to a beach, it's an experience, but it was white and it was so fine. It was just incredible. So the 11-year-old is running around making the sand squeak, and then she decides, and I didn't believe she was actually going to do this, she decides that she is actually going to strip off and go in the water. I'm kind of thinking, you're going to swim? But no, she didn't. She paddled, and she sat and waited for a wave to get over the worst part of you, which is kind of like up to your waist, and after that it really doesn't matter. Got a bit wet, had a bit of fun, and then it was time to go and start making our way back down home, which was, I don't know, an hour drive home. And again, my back was reasonably okay. I was sitting cross-legged on the beach, again with, you know, not much trouble. It was really nice. I have just seen a crescent, and I'm going to get rid of that next. So that was really, really cool. And I think the next day, again, I was still pretty good. I think the next day... No, this was the second nice day. So we went on the second nice day. The next day, it rained. And it rained so hard, it washed away the bridge from the town that we actually drove through, Orford. It actually took the bridge away. And if we had tried, you know, on any other day, we would have been stuck and had to go the other way around. So that was a little bit ironic. We had a bit of a giggle over that, but this town is now without a bridge to get out to the south for a little bit until they can get it replaced. So major flooding like the next day. So Marcus did some more research on these waterfalls and has come up with this kind of idea to get out and about, get used to the car, get out and, you know, do things together as a family a bit more and stuff. And he found that there is a waterfall like 2 main streets away from us. And because it's been raining, we thought, yeah, the water might be kind of tipping down it just a bit. So again, I'll pop in some photos here. And these are Glenorchy Falls. Now, again, these are on this particular website that he's found with these waterfalls. Some of them are more documented than others. I think he actually found 2 or 3 that have never been documented, and I'm kind of going, yeah, that's probably because there's no access to them, because they're so remote. It doesn't look like it's far from the road or anything, but in reality, this is Tasmania. You could be walking 2 steps and you're seriously on the edge of a cliff. It's a most bizarre and ever-changing, well, ever-changing island. It doesn't change obviously when you're, you know, there, but like I said, you could be going from, you know, flat rock pools to looking down over the valley. It's incredible. So, and you get sites around every corner and all this kind of thing. Some of the other states in Australia do not have this, or they have them in tiny, tiny pockets. Tasmania's got these gems of gold everywhere. It's quite an incredible state. So the plan would be to do that. So we went up to these waterfalls, you know, which are, you know, fairly, sorry? It's 5 minutes away. It's, you know, a pretty mild fall. And when there's no water rushing down, you could actually step across the other side to where there's a track. I don't know if I've actually crossed this, and maybe it was because I have been there before and it wasn't under full tilt water that I kind of went, there's nothing here, that I kind of disregarded these falls. But there's a whopping great bench that somebody's made that's literally being eroded away. The metal anchors have washed away, which is a shame because it was a great big sturdy like railway sleeper thickness uprights and all that kind of jazz. It could have been a walking bridge, I don't know. Anyway, either way, there's these huge big picnic bench with these monstrous cement footings had just, you know, been torn underneath from it. So it's actually been much higher than it was when we took photos. But I took the photos, and I don't know if the animations will go in on the video. I don't think they do. I think they go in as a still, which is a real shame. Unless I can figure out how to format them as a moving picture. I'll see if I can do that, or talk to the hubby and see if he can do that in a way that my program will allow me to share them as an actual moving picture. But I think I also took a video. So if I've got that, I'll play that as well. Because they were pretty cool. And there was so much spume coming up. There was a kind of... There was the fall, and then there was a trap on one side of it. And that trap was getting full of spume and it's foam, basically. But I don't know. I thought it was foam. It was formed by salty water. You often see spume on beaches. But it's not salty when it's coming down off the mountain. It's just, you know, furiously churning. So, yeah, there's that. So that will be, I suppose, the next big thing for us to hunt down waterfalls. And what I also need to do is check out if there's any geocaches in the area. When I was up at Lost Falls, there was a couple of rocks at the bottom of a tree base, and I kind of went, oh, that looks like a geocache location. It wasn't, but it looked like one. I kind of thought, damn it, there's no phone signal, so I can't find out if there's a cache around here, because geocaching, kind of, the locals who put them there and maintain them tend to give you bits of information about what is going on there as well, so you find out what the local falls are, how often, or whatever, you know, the local info might be. So really, really good just for fact gathering as much as anything else. Yes, it's a really cool hobby to get into if you're interested. So it's geocaching.com. So did that little jaunt before I went for my nerve block on Friday. Excuse me. I got tomato seed in my teeth. Excuse my grotty behaviour. And that's about the only big other highlight of this week. Well, it's not really, but what else have I done? I'll get to the nerve block. I've been busy stitching. I wanted to get my Dark Queen of the Sea Part 2 finished, and I did it. I got the normal cross stitching done and left the belly for the last day. And you know what is so cool? Being part of the group, and Aaron and Cassandra. Aaron will go on and look at each photo and drop comments and encourage us. And I'm kind of going, you know, okay, he's not quite a god, but he's the creator of this creation. And it's like, he's praising me for my work, and I'm kind of going, I can't stitch for nuts, and you are just amazing. And it wasn't quite fangirling, but it's, you know, it's like, oh wow, you know, I'm really honoured that he was so encouraging, and it was really, really cool. And we are kind of, well, it's not becoming a little family in the group, because there's a few hundred of us, but, you know, we're getting to know each other's work and things like that, and it's really, really cool. I'm really enjoying the group and the encouragement. And even though people are kind of saying, oh, I'm so far behind, oh, I'm waiting on fabric still, I've got a friend up in Queensland who's still waiting on her fabric, and I'm kind of going, oh, I've done this bit, I really want to share my photo with her, but I don't want her to feel bad because she's still waiting on her fabric, kind of thing. So, you know, there's that kind of, you know, catch up already. Yes. What? No, sit. No, sit. Does Daddy need to take you out? Out. Go. She's after some Smarties that are in my drawer because she thinks she can. What? Smarties? Yeah, she's rabbiting. Go see if Daddy's got any bananas left. Oh, Daddy's eaten all his bananas. Yeah, so it's really, really encouraging to get that encouragement and everything else. I decided, and when I first started, I'm going, oh my god, how do I even rip this out if I don't like what I'm doing? I stitched 1/1 on 28 count linen. Holy cow. Yeah, it's a thing. So I'm not intending on doing anything overly spectacular with my Ursula, as I'm calling her, which one of the other girls I think is at least calling her that as well. No, Sophie, I'm busy. Don't touch. Pressing buttons on the keyboard. So, yeah, so Ursula, who may or may not actually be Ursula, but anyway, she has a 1/1 belly that's kind of shiny, I suppose, as a result. My stitching, I feel, is terrible. Now, I know we are our own worst critics, but holy cow, I'm not even sure I finished the little crosses on the 1/1 properly. Some of it I thought, yes, I'm winning, I can see that this is a line, this is a stitch, and went for it. And others I'm kind of going, oh my god, I'm getting lost, and it was crazy. Now, Rachel did a little video the other day of doing the 1/1 example and said, oh, it's okay, I'll just rip it out. And I think when she started doing it, she kind of went, yeah, this isn't going to be ripped out, I'll just stitch over it instead. I know, it's that hard, isn't it, Rachel? Oh, it was insane. So I have done the 1/1 on the belly, and I'll put a photo in here if I can think of it when I'm editing. I don't normally rewatch word for word my longer videos. I just try and, you know, screen grab and put them in as best as I can. So I'll pay attention for the first half hour in editing, and hopefully that'll all be, you know, in there. So, yeah, she got finished, which means it's the 11th today. I've got 20 days free and clear to catch up on Harry Potter and things like that. Now, Rachel and I had been chatting, and she was talking about Pattern Keeper, and she was kind of going, no, I can't get Pattern Keeper to work, because she was doing the Queen of the Sea, and she was showing her work last week on one of her Flosstober videos, and it's still the best name. I think it's much better than Vlogoween, or Vlog. I think it's Vlogoween that Michelle Bendy Stitchy does. Yeah, Flosstober is a much better name. So I'm with you on that one, right? The what was I saying? So doing the Pattern Keeper, she forgot to. I think she wasn't gridding per square or something like that. So I made this little video, and she seemed to get a handle on it, and it made me kind of think, look, I'm going to try again with the introduction to Harry Potter, because I could get chapter 2 working, I could get chapter 3 or chapter 1 or whatever, I could get all of those working, but the intro was just flummoxing me. And basically what I did was I left off the top banner, because I'm finished my top banner where the castle, the train, the owls are. I'm finished that, so I don't need to have that in my PDF. And then I put in all the other pages, and it wasn't happy. So then, because it wasn't happy, I figured maybe it's because the last section is by 45 rather than 75, and somehow it couldn't get its puny little brain around the fact that just because it was a short box didn't... Anyway, it was having a fit. So I left off the bottom envelope line, and it worked. So now I've got Pattern Keeper on my phone with the intro. And I tell you what, doing the envelopes, the parchment, the paper on Pattern Keeper is so much quicker than doing it on paper. Now, I wasn't marking off on paper, I was trying to just follow along. But this one now, I don't know what it's done. It didn't do it with Queen of the Sea, but with the Harry Potter pattern, and I'm sorry if I'm taking you into stitching country while we're diamond painting, but it is what it is. When you have imported it, it then takes you to a floss page, so you find each icon and you tell it what the DMC code is, and it's like, okay, why am I doing this? So I'm going through and I'm putting down, you know, what feels like 10 billion of the same symbol, and I'm kind of going, oh my god. Finally finish all of that, and it is happy, because you have to put something for everything. You couldn't leave any of those colors blank, which is a little bit frustrating, that you can't go just leave this as a null field. Teeth. And then I got in, and it gives you a number count for each of the thread stitches. So you've got 814, for instance, and okay, there might be a whole heap of 814s, but per page, and this is how it does it. So you've got, let's say there's 12 pages. They actually have pulled out each of the pattern, each of the DMC codes on each of the pages. So if you highlight the right page with the color, you're on one particular page. And it was like, oh my god, it's really, really good now that I'm starting to actually use the program a bit better. So having this and being able to then highlight a section, it means then, instead of a freestyle highlight, which is what I'm doing in Dark Queen of the Sea, I'm actually able to just highlight the particular page, and I'm just looking for this particular color, so I can swipe all over the page and I'm not getting anything else involved. So it's like highlighting in filter. It's really, really cool. So I'm liking this app more and more. It is only available on Android, so I apologize to any of the iPad, iPhone users. Well, it's not my fault, but a lot of people have gone out and bought Android specific devices, be they Kindle Fires or whatever, to be able to use Pattern Keeper. And I tell you what, if I was doing a Heaven and Earth design or any of the other kits where it's automatically all there for you, oh my god, it is a game changer. And when they said initially, oh, Pattern Keeper, it's a game changer, I kind of went, yeah, right. You know, how good can it really be? Holy cow, it is amazing. So, Cal also had a problem, I think, with something that she was doing. She was doing, I was watching her on her floss tube yesterday, I think it was. I was watching her from possibly a Friday floss tube, so it was a very recent one, on her floss tube where she does a flip through with one of the magazines. I don't think it was a Christmas one. But it's one where she does the flip through at the end, and she keeps on saying, okay, enabling coming up, and she'd give you a warning not to watch the screen because you might get enabled for the bendy stitchy pockets. It's a very cool idea doing that. Keep doing it, Cal, because I'm going to watch and get enabled. Yeah, so she also mentioned about having a problem with it, and I said, oh, and flicked her the video that I had done for Rachel as well, and she said that she'd have a look at it and see if that made sense. I said, look, I'm actually thinking I'm going to have to try and make a video, so I will do screen captures, screen recordings, and then get those recordings onto my computer so I can do a voiceover to try and explain how Pattern Keeper works from, you know, my point of view, idiot point of view, hasn't used it fully. Just to get it started, or maybe it's more, these are the awkward ones, so here's how to use it. So I've got to get that organized, and I'll possibly do that tomorrow. We'll see how we go. But yeah, tomorrow I have a day off, and then it's back to work on Tuesday. Yeah, and well, we'll see how we go. It's a short week, and then we've got a bit of a training session on Friday. So that should be interesting, because it's our other department's training conference-y thing, so they're out of action, which means that we're kind of stood down, given, not time off, but just given relief from being able to have to support them, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, alright, nerve block on Friday. A little bit nervous going into it. I read up on the paperwork, I think the night before again, making sure that, you know, could eat normally, didn't have to do any weird fasting or anything like that, and all of that kind of thing. Didn't say anything about having to take off jewellery or anything, given that I was going into a CT machine. Couldn't recall if any of those were issues or anything, so yeah. Quick scan of that paperwork, and that was all fine. Got my reminder saying, hey, you're booked in for this, and that was a relief, because my doctor was getting a bit frantic. And went in, and Marcus had wanted to talk to the doctor about questions he had, and he was kind of going, oh, I wanted to talk to the doctor without you there, and I'm kind of thinking, like hell you are. You know, I'm a big girl, and he didn't want me stressing about what they might be doing to me. I'm kind of thinking, look, if anything, it thrills and enthralls me to know how these medical procedures all work. So that was all good. We had the doctor explain everything, I think, pretty well. Unfortunately, Marcus couldn't stay in, but as it turned out, it was okay. I was on my belly on the table, and it's not like I needed him to hold my hand or anything like I was having an epidural or anything. The doctor did describe that there were two methods to do this nerve block. One is the epidural method, and one is the method that I had. So he said we try this one first, and if that doesn't work, then you go the epidural kind of route, and explained all about nerves, and it was all really, really cool. Hang on. my doctor had said that other patients described this particular procedure as being the worst ever, and I don't know who the hell they were, but they must be wimpy as all hell, because I did not find this procedure to be horrific. The worst part was the local anaesthetic, as it always is, because it's the first needle and you feel it. But I was amazed how quick it worked, because the doctor came back in and he poked me and he said, "Is that numb?" And I kind of went, "Yeah." You know, they give you anaesthetic for, you know, getting your teeth done. It seems to take forever to work. So that was incredible. So that was a good start. And then he goes and puts a needle in, a little bit too deep, and I kind of go, "Ouch!" And he said, "You should have told me." So he gave me a little bit more anaesthetic in the site, and then put in the nerve block, and I left after he made sure I still had 2 feet attached and could walk. And this, I think we were there for about an hour all up. I was expecting to be there. The procedure was probably about 20 minutes long, and I was expecting to be there for 45 minutes afterwards. And I wasn't. We were, you know, pretty much done when we were done. Like, they gave me a cup of tea afterwards, and I hadn't even started it. It was still too hot when they said, "Yeah, you're right to go." I was like, "Oh, okay." Finish your tea and, yeah, head off. So that was awesome. He said that the anaesthetic would last, you know, up to 24 hours, not feel anything, and after that it might come back with the numbness down the leg and stuff, and not to worry about that, but then it would start getting better again as, you know, whatever was going on in the body was starting to decrease, like the inflammation was starting to die down and stuff. So said I would be bruised locally at the site where he jabbed the needles in and that kind of thing. And yeah, I'm certainly feeling pain there. The numbness is gone, so that's good. So that's a bonus. Hopefully that doesn't come back, but the local soreness now is it's sore, and today I certainly woke up more grumpy than I wanted to be. So hopefully that doesn't turn into a thing, and just begins to improve. I know I've had really good results from the shoulder and hips being done, so I'm hoping that this is also going to be the kind of thing where I'm starting to wake up in the morning and moving without any issue, and I suddenly wake up in a week's time and it's kind of like, "Oh, when was the last time I felt pain?" That kind of reaction, that's what I'm hoping for. So if it's something that you need to do, or that has been recommended to you, I would recommend you do it. Cortisone for me seems to work, which is a relief. I was only saying to a friend the other day, the last time I got a cortisone injection in my hip was probably 4 years ago. And it's only now starting to be any kind of a niggle, and that's only when it gets extremely cold, and we're now coming into spring, so it's not going to be an issue this year. So maybe next year I'll have to look at getting it again, but at least I know it's going to potentially last, because I was kind of thinking, oh my god, I feel like a geriatric, I feel like I'm so old and arthritic, and the GP is kind of saying, "You don't have arthritis," and I'm kind of going, well, it's sore, so, you know, please help me. So now at least I kind of know the kind of avenues to push towards. So that's good. So yeah, next thing will be to get back into my usual routine at work and hopefully just get stronger. I've got to start doing the core exercises. I've got to start figuring out what kind of exercise I can do that's both sustainable and fun, and I don't know if Pilates is it. I've never felt overly flexible. Sorry? Yeah, exercise. Whoa, Sophie. Don't touch the keyboard, please. Yeah, green. We've got colours on the keyboard. Please don't touch. Sophie, I need you to leave because I don't trust you. No. Go away. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Walking I can do. Walking is an easy thing, but I don't know if it's a strong enough core kind of exercise. And I'm just not into doing, you know, training sessions or getting up early and going to the gym or any of that kind of stuff. I have been fit before, but maintaining it is, it's a lot of work in maintaining it, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to go back and do that kind of regime again. It did feel nice being fitter. Able to throw a 20-kilo bag of whatever onto my shoulder. Chicken food, I think it was at the time. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Alright. That's that colour. Alright, 2 colours left. Probably isn't going to be a very long WiPnChat. There we go. Alright. Now, in the last couple of days, I have made quite a sizable investment. I'm trying to get the right word. Investment in my future, I suppose, from a YouTube-y kind of point of view. I don't know. We'll see. Income, business, thing on the side, whatever, moonlighting, hustle, that's another term. But it's gonna be potentially Christmas before it's up and running, so I guess stay tuned on that one. But I am mildly hopeful that it could be something that I could do on a fairly regular basis without being, you know, overly swamped by anything. So that could be pretty cool. Hubby and I also have other ideas for what we want to do from a ongoing what do we call it, enterprise, I suppose. He's very tech minded. He's also got the 3D printer, so incorporating tech, 3D print and all of that kind of thing is something he's pretty keen on and keen to support, so that's all kinds of cool. I have got some ideas for something that hasn't been seen before. We've got to come up with a prototype for that one. And again, it's, you know, it's interesting and exciting and scary. It's not a big thing at all, but you know, as soon as I launch whatever it is on the market, I know it's going to be copied like I've seen other people copy. Everlasting tips and stuff, you've got American makers now, and I'm not knocking the American makers because one of them is a friend of mine. All I'm saying is, you know, come up with a product and yet then somebody stateside does it too. So it's trying to do... No, this was an American. But trying to come up with something that is that little bit special, you know, that will get people, I suppose, to hopefully continue with our custom, is what we're after. So, you know, it doesn't matter that other people do it. It matters that the people that we do it for get, you know, something. If that makes kind of sense, that, you know, we're different. And that's why you want to support us, just like you want to support many crafters out there, and why you have your reasons for supporting a particular crafter. You know, because you get brand loyal or something, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's where we're kind of chewing the cud, I suppose. I actually have got an Etsy store, but there's nothing. Oh, I think the cover minder, my Pippa's package cover minder, is in there, and that's it. Ow, sorry, back. So yeah, there's that. And that's going to take time, and I'm quite happy to mull over this and chew on this and let it do what it's doing, just the percolating and permeating and all of that kind of thing, as we kind of, hubby and I, kind of go, oh, could we do this? Could we, you know, would this work? And just bat ideas around before we kind of hone in on one particular area. And also do diverse things that, you know, I can do things that he can't do, and, you know, and that makes it something that I can do on my free time. Do I have free time? And he can do on his free time. And what's that for him too? You know what I mean? And it's something that, you know, we work together, and we, you know, ideally would maybe be able to let me then, if I was to make the income, go part-time at my page job kind of thing. And we're not going to see that hit to the wallet by doing so, and I get to do what I love doing, as opposed to in some ways have to do, you know, because sometimes that's what your day job gets like. Oh goodness, she's after a pouch and a biscuit now, and she's so chatty the last couple of days. It was really cute. Marcus went and said to her before lunch, I just turned the oven on for pizza, and he goes, okay, you've got two choices. You can go cuddle with mummy, or you can go to bed. And she gets up beside me, and she squashes into the arm of the couch next to me as I'm browsing on AliExpress, and she conks out, and I pick her up and take her down to bed. But yeah, and then when she, I think before she had gone to bed, at some point I'd brushed her hair. We have this, we have a weird brush. Marcus was really into brushing his girls' hair when they were little, and he's quite obsessed with brushes for a boy. And he knows there's a UK maker's brush. Do you remember the name of the brush from the UK that your mother or grandmother had? Might begin with an M. Not sure. Anyway, it's still being made, because I think I went online and checked it out, and it's something like $300 for this hairbrush, a bristle brush. And it was like, yipe! Okay, not buying one of those. He had a nail brush or something in the same maker. Anyway, that's, you know, a little bit aside. Either way, he was fixated on bristle brushes, whereas I had, you know, I had the long hair and everything else. I had nobody who ever offered to brush my hair for me, and I just had the hairdresser's brush, the Denman brushes from Ireland, that I was used to for brushing my hair. Might be Mason Pearson, maybe, if you're familiar with them. Anyway, he had bristle brushes for doing the girls' hair, and the girls had long hair, and he would brush them like 100 and 300 strokes and all of this kind of jazz. and get it so that all the natural oils were through and all the tangles were out and it was just glossy and gorgeous. He would do that with me as well when we met. And you got a chocolate biscuit. Oh! Okay.
And that was every morning before school.
And that was before school. Every morning he would do this. So he was, you know, checking out these brushes, and we found a brush that has like a, you know how they talk about dogs having an undercoat, like huskies have their double layered coat? This brush is similar. You've got a bristle underneath, and then you've got spikes that come out, you know, half distance again, so it's got this dual kind of layer. It's a gorgeous brush, but when I brush Sophie's hair, the spikes take out the tangles, and then the bristle bit just fluffs her hair. I was brushing it this morning and I was saying to her, this is just like brushing silk. It was divine. And I'm kind of thinking, how do I capture me brushing her hair like spun gold? And oh, it was incredible. Marcus would get lost doing the girl's hair. He would, you know, he got as much pleasure, I think, even though it caused him pain probably, from brushing the girl's hair, because his eldest girl has almost jet black hair. It was just gorgeous. Very, very dark brown. And yeah, it was just gorgeous, and because of the length of it and everything, you know, he would, I hope that was right, yeah.
I think she was 30 minutes, and I think Cam was 15 minutes.
He took about 30 minutes every day to brush their hair.
30 for Cam. 30
for the eldest.
15.
And then 15 for the younger one, because her hair was much, much different. It was curly almost by comparison. And then it's now starting to grow out, and her hair's being cut short, and they don't appreciate what they have. But anyway, that's a different story. But yeah, it just having the brush, it can make a huge difference to the whole brushing of the hair. And I know the girls in Marissa's chat last week, I think we were talking about hair and how the girls would have Sunday as hair day, when they would take hours to brush out their hair. Now look, I'm, you know, white Irish with red hair, but I still, you know, will take a bit of time to brush out tangles and all of that kind of thing. And my hair is thick as all heck. But because it's layered, it does tangle, but no, it's not going to do anything like a black kind of hairdo with the ringlety curls like the girls have. But their hair is gorgeous. I love Tia's hair. I love her curls when she has them out. So yeah, pretty brushes. But I often don't brush my hair every day either. I just throw it up into a messy bun. So I give it a bit of a break from the brushing. Otherwise I'll give it a good seeing to with the Denman. And it just pulls out all the tangles, but it doesn't actually put any, you know, body or volume or anything into it. That's what I've got the layers for. But yeah, I rarely wear my hair down at work. I just, I think it's a mum thing, you know, head down, the hair is always falling into it. I get hot, I get sweaty, so the hair just goes up and it keeps me cooler. So hubby is probably the only one who gets the benefit of the long hair, which I think is okay by him. He likes the long hair. My ex wanted my hair short. I did do it once between kids and hated it. I think I've spoken about it before. Hated the maintenance. Okay, it was quick to wash, but maintaining it at a good short length, no. My hair grew too fast for that kind of carry on, and in between cuts it was disgusting. It just made me feel like a boy and remarkably unfeminine, even though I was probably at my lowest weight when I had the short haircut. I had this kind of pixie kind of haircut. Yeah, wouldn't go back there. Not well. I think what I did, he did shave, a fundraising shave for a cure kind of thing one year, and I actually put it that I wanted $2,000. Otherwise, I would shave my head, and I got the money for not shaving my head. So that was nice.
Are you saying you blackmailed your ex?
No,
Who did you blackmail?
I blackmailed all our friends.
Oh.
So I didn't shave my head, but got the funding for the cause. I didn't donate my hair because I didn't chop it off.
Right.
But he did. He did the shaving thing. We had a friend. What was that? Did he do it for anything in particular? George?
I don't think so.
We had a Greek friend who decided to shave off his great big shaggy beard that he had for a couple of years.
I think he just uses the excuse to go by the wife's wishes.
Yeah, he wasn't getting any gnocchi, so he got fed up and decided that he'd cut his beard off. So he did it in the Hellenic Hall, because they're Greek, in front of the whole community. And then some other, it must have been a fundraiser thing, because some other new weirdo got up as well and shaved off his beard or hair or everything. Yeah.
For the hall.
Yeah.
And then basically a tourist said, "Oh, I'll do that too."
Yeah, this some shaggy Greek tourist.
Oh, he wasn't Greek, he was a Hungarian.
Oh, was he? Oh, yeah, okay. Go figure. Anyway, yeah, this guy off the street decides that he was going to shave as well, so he got shaved.
Sorry, I'll fill out the story.
Oh God, he was from Victoria. Oh God, it gets worse. Right.
Sorry to keep interrupting like that.
Yeah, but one of the girls who's a mutual friend, actually a hairdresser, cut them up on the stage. And Sophie had only just been born. She was a week old in the sling when we went along to that and, you know, supported this lunacy at the Greek festival. The things the Greeks do. Yes. He's a funny, strange man. He comes for a conversation, stays for a couple of hours, and this is not insulting him at all, I hope. Comes for a few hours and doesn't really talk about anything in particular, but talks the whole time. Mark is the kind of guy. He comes with a question and he never asks. Or, you know, it's just, yeah, all kinds of strange.
You'll come to get a job done.
Yeah.
And we'll wait until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, this is probably because he knows it's only going to take you 5 minutes to fix, too.
He knows it takes 2 hours to warm up to do the thing.
Yes, he's got to grease him, give him a couple of beers, and, you know.
Talk about greasing me.
Yeah, and, you know, greasing the ego or not, and, yeah. He's quite funny, and he's got all kinds of funny philosophical ideas that don't necessarily make any sense and don't come out in any particular order. Yeah,
some of them are just a joke, and other ones are actually real.
Yeah, and it's trying to understand which is true and which is just spouting controversy for the sake of it. Yeah, he's interesting. We don't see him all that often, so it's always entertaining when he does, you know, drop in and gives his ideas and that. But yeah. Oh, I wonder what that was. I think that was the last. No, definitely not that one. That would have been that.
Navy divers removed a live bomb off the shore of Lord Howe Island.
From when? The war?
Yeah, unexploded 45 kilo bomb.
A 45 kilo bomb from
Australia's Lord Howe Island.
Okay, but probably World War something or other.
Still live.
Still live. It's that one. Oh my goodness, I've been sloppy with my drills. I did think about doing the chuck along, but I figured I really want to get this mystery painting done before the end of the year. So I thought I would do that. Chuck can wait. Oh, and have you checked out Diamond Art Club's Christmas pictures? Holy cow. Daniel Davidson, is it? Excuse me if I've got that wrong. Or David Davidson. I don't think it's David Davidson. That would be all kinds of stupid of his parents, wouldn't it? Anyway, there's 2 Christmas paintings. One was like, holy cow, that's a lot of red. The carpet's red, the walls are red, and Santa's red. And it was like, yeah. Probably a bit too much red in that one for me. But the other one was just so rich in detail. That I'm kind of going, oh, can I get it? Can I justify getting it? And it's kind of like, no, you gotta wait. So I don't know if it's going to be there when I have got the money to purchase it. But that's just the way of life. My Randall Spanglers aren't in yet that I want to get. I think this Firefly is still not in. Still out of stock, unfortunately. And there's the book pile. I love that book pile. Oh my god. I always used to have an actual stack of books beside my bed that was like that. It was ridiculous. And I'd probably be reading about 4 of them at the time. And yeah, completely mental. Trying to get to whatever book was relevant. Now I still have 1 book on my bed, bedside locker. And my watches actually charge on it. I haven't got to the book because I've been reading books on Kindle lately, and loving that because it means I don't have to have the side bed light, the light on at the side of the bed, which disrupts Marcus, and I can just read the black pages on the Kindle and, you know, fall asleep after half a page kind of thing. So that's kind of cool. Oh, something that's been popping up on my feed on Facebook today. I don't know what the heck. When you get one... okay. When you get an ad, it seems to be a run of the same kind of ilk of ads. So you might see a diet ad, and then the next one will be a fitness ad, and the next one will be another diet ad. I don't know which to drink. My Southern or my tea. Hang on. Yes. Well, the theme of the ads, I think yesterday or today, I think it might have been just today, because it's not, I don't normally see these, is from, I don't know, is it Dream Me or something like that? It's basically fantasy stories that aren't necessarily brilliantly written, but you can download an app, I suppose is where they're directing you to, but apparently how it works is you get three chapters a day, and the teaser book they give you is, or at least the teaser book I was getting, because I read it, and it must have been the first 3 chapters, were about werewolves and how when the female character of the story turned 17, she was supposed to be given to the werewolf and mated to the werewolf, but in this case she didn't actually know he was a werewolf, and there was another story that she did know he was a werewolf because she was a werewolf or something. I'm kind of going, I've never read any of these werewolf stories. I've certainly seen them in, you know, BookBub and stuff, and I've never had any kind of interest in them. Same with the vampire books. Never been interested in Buffy the Vampire Slayer or what's the other one? Twilight. Never been interested in any of those kind of things. But I know they're popular as all heck. So yeah, this was weird. But read a few of the reviews of this app and people were complaining, going, oh, I've collected the coins, but I can't download the whole book. All I get is 3 chapters a day, and they didn't like that because they were reading them too quickly. So yeah, I don't know. Are werewolf stories really, you know, a thing? Are they that good? Or are they that terrible? Because it's not like you can really kind of say, oh yeah, that's like real life. Yeah. I don't know. But I still want to know what happened with the story. Which is a little bit frustrating that I can't get the story. I shouldn't have started reading. But I've had these other ads that were like, I don't know, anime kind of... no, there's a particular name for these, and I know I'm going to be way off, but I don't think it's katana, but it might be. The Japanese kind of adult graphic artist kind of stories, and I never really understood any of the Japanese kind of animations, like even the kids cartoony things. Like Pokemon is even terrible. Watching that on animated cartoon, it's like, ugh, no, please, kill me now. My kids were into it big time. Yeah, I just don't get it. And I don't like how the lip sync is off because, you know, we're English speakers and then you're watching a Japanese made film and the mouth is kind of going blah blah blah, and the pictures just not keeping up with the speech and it's all kinds of wrong. And I remember watching it with Battle of the Planets when I was a kid, and that was probably my first experience of Japanese kind of animation style, with Kiop and whatever the other characters were. God, that's going back a bit. That seemed to be quite cool. I enjoyed Battle of the Planets, but yeah. And then we were watching, what was it, Unknown Origin. That was a Spanish, yeah, it was a Spanish-made movie that was
made no Argentina, but it was in the Australian group.
Oh, okay. So anyway,
So
it was dubbed in English, but it was made with the Spanish language. And holy cow, it was talking about, it was kind of like a detective show, but it was so badly written. It was painful. Yeah, it was kind of like on in the background while I was stitching and hubby was soldering, and we just kind of ignored how bad the actual film was, because normally if it's a bad film we just turn it off.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
But there was some bits and we were just kind of, I think we were giggling. I think there was one bit that we actually had to rewind. It's kind of like, whoa, go back on that one. It was just so bad. But because the sound was off with the dubbing and everything, it was just really, really weird. I would challenge anyone, even if it's just for shits and giggles, watch a foreign made movie with English dubbing. It's really, really weird. They have a different way of saying things, and as a result, the English translation, to try and get it to keep up to speed, the intonation's all kinds of wrong. I remember when I was in France and I was actually watching an English-made program dubbed into French. So I was lip reading the English, listening to the French. I was like, ah, oh. Yeah, it's a bit of a head spinner, but well worth it for the experience. If you can do it while drunk, probably even better. Oh God, no, seriously, it's it's a strange thing watching a foreign language movie in your language, or if you understand it in a different language. Yeah. It's quite funny. And there have been some shows that Marcus will get that don't have subtitles on them for some reason. And so you're watching the foreign language bit and you're kind of going, I have no idea what they're saying. Some of it I can pick up if it's French or Spanish. I've got a little bit of understanding, probably more French I can understand than Spanish, but I get a couple of words in Spanish. but most of the time I'm just as lost as he is, so you're kind of just floundering in the dark and watching what people are doing to kind of see, is this actually going the way you think it's going? Yeah, so you really kind of need to have the added subtitles, which then makes it hard work because you're reading the subtitles and not seeing what's happening on the screen. Hats off to anyone who's deaf dealing with this. And I've got a friend, again, in the photo club that I do. He's deaf, and he actually only has sight in one eye. He was worried about losing sight in the other eye the other day because he had floaters, but he constantly either praises or protests the fact that there are subtitles or not subtitles on sub things. So he's really appreciative if you can get a video and share it with him and it's got the subtitles done for it or the sign language. But again, he's American Sign Language, which again is different from the Australian Auslan. Yeah, really, it's interesting just getting the different kind of points of view. And Marcus actually has a friend of his who's a computer guy who is blind. 99% apparently. And still
You can tell when the sun's up.
functions. Yeah, he can tell when the sun is up, so it's doesn't see anything except shade, I think, and various degrees of that shade.
No, on or off. That's valid.
Yeah. Yeah, which that could bring me to the kind of dilemma of the week, if you want to call it that. If you had to lose a sense, and I know this has been asked before on many things, if you had to lose a sense, what would it be? And you got to understand that if you lose a sense of smell, you lose a sense of taste as well.
Well, I think it only adds to it.
Well, apparently if you can't smell, you can't taste. Most things.
I think it's a combined thing.
I don't know. But is there a sense that you think you could live without? And I don't know. I've kind of wondered. I know I've had problems with my hearing, and you know, while a silent world would be you know, something that you could live with, the things that I would miss, I think, are the things that I kind of, you know, focused on.
What if it was just constant ringing noise?
If it was a constant ringing noise, that would be a bit annoying, and hubby's got tinnitus from his head injury, so he's got Quasimodo and the bells ringing in his ears on a pretty constant basis. Apparently there are earplugs. Excuse me just a second while I try that. I just got a warning. I had very little space.
There are advantages with the tinnitus.
Oh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got super hearing too with the tinnitus.
You can hear when things are out of tune. You can hear this warbling because the tones of, say, the TV will go with the inbuilt frequency in your head.
Okay. Hang on just a second. Alright, sorry about that. My disk space was getting low, so I just needed to flip the switch. Now, I'm going to take a bit of a risk, and I'm only going to open 2 of these. I've got a big one, and I've got 3 small ones. But I'm only going to open these 2, because I'm nearly finished the picture. Or maybe I'll just do 1. Yeah, let's just do 1. Because the last time I did an Ever Moment, there was a humongous amount of spare drills left over. And if I can keep as many as I can in the original packaging, it's so much better. So, give me a second. I know there's a fair bit of this to go. So, I may end up opening another one of those anyway. Let's just see how we go. Because there's another chunk here. Oops. There's another chunk here. But anyway. Alright. But yeah, he's talking about having the constant ringing in the ears. Yeah. I don't know. I'd miss music. I've really missed music. But I know you can feel music if you've got the right kind of speakers and all that kind of jazz and that kind of thing. But you miss the pretty sounds. I wouldn't miss the noisy, horrible sounds, but I'd miss the pretty sounds. You know, the cacophony of birds. You know, you go to the countryside where it's peaceful and quiet. It's noisy as all hell. The animals don't shut up. You know, but you're missing the drone of humanity's engines, I guess. You know, motorbikes and cars and machinery and all that kind of thing. That's what I think humans like to escape, as opposed to quiet. They don't want a dead room. Nobody wants, I don't think people want a dead space, although people who like doing those immersion tanks might like that kind of feeling of void. Yeah. Sight. I've already got the bad eyes. I think I'd hate to lose my eyesight. I'd hate to miss the bits that I see that I do take pleasure in. Yeah. So I certainly struggle with those. And touch. Well, you'd be kind of stuck if you couldn't feel anything. Like everything was numb. No. Alright, I'm done. Anyway, okay, I'll let you go. I will insert a picture of this. I'll open it all out and take a picture. And show you, clickety click. I'll show you how this all looks, but that's the top. With the, oh, actually no, I'll just unravel it now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, oh my god, 12, 13 more to go. Yike. So that's another couple of months if I do 1 or 2 a week. Sorry, Julie, I'll get there. I will get there. I'm loving this. It's such a pleasure to work on this because it's every moment. And I've got my hummingbird here, I figure, and then the rest is just stems. It's gorgeous. I've got other kits, like I've got a Victoria Moon in square that, meh. I've got the other project that I don't talk about, meh. Yeah. This is a pleasure to work on, so yeah, quite happy to just, you know, beetle along, and I'll get there eventually. But yeah, oh, I should have taken a picture. I'll leave it out to take a picture. So I can put it in as a thumbnail. Alright, thank you for joining me. Just do the usual. Like, if you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Drop me a comment. You know, I really, really get a kick out of the comments, and you guys sharing your lives with me. And yeah, we'll see how we go with the whole progress of back and everything else, and back to work, and Christmas is coming, and the goose is getting fat and all that kind of jazz. Halloween is coming, then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas. Yikes. Yeah. Busy time of year. Shitty time of COVID crap, putting what could be good preparations out the window, so we've got to start thinking out of the box, I guess, and thinking a bit differently. So yeah, I hope those kind of plans do work well for you, so you start kind of getting your head into that and being able to make Christmas work where you might have thought, oh, it's just not going to be what it should be. Well, it can be whatever you make it, I suppose, whatever family time that you do have. And hopefully you still have got your family around. I hope you haven't lost family through all this crappy year. Alright, I'll see you around. There's a lot of mishmashy videos going out. Agnes's cover minders is at the end of one of the videos. This is my little dragon. He is gorgeous. He is now called Albie. Somebody said he looked like an AB, Aurora Borealis, so Albie is his name. You will see him around more and more often as I get used to using him. I'm terrified I'm going to break him. So yeah, there's all sorts. There's a Doctor Who diamond painting on tomorrow coming out on Thursday, the 10th Doctor. So you get to enjoy seeing my excitement looking at the 10th Doctor and where the ABs are in that one. So that's certainly worth seeing. So yeah, hope you enjoy that too. Alright, I will see you around, and look after yourselves, and I'll see you around on the tubes. Bye for now. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.